Daily reminder that a video game made this guy so angry that he just started grunting at the keyboard. I don't even think he knows what he's angry at. Truly a charming and effective soldier right here. Hey guys, it's the Gundam Boy, and now that we're done talking about this AR-2... Ow! Ah! Speargun! That's right, we're taking a look at the Speargun. So, let's get straight into it. So if you want this weapon for yourself, you can check it out at the Dusty Devil's Warbond. Something you should really note about its actual stats is that it has a drag of 400%, which means damage fall off when you fire at long ranges. Which is fine, because I can't see shit anyways down this sight. So its standard damage is at 650, and its durable damage is at 275. It also has an armor pen class at 5, and since the projectile itself has gas effects, it means even if it shoots right through an enemy, it will still affect them. And while the projectile does inflict gas on them, it's not as strong as the actual fart cloud. Taking a look at the weapon, in-game, for some reason it says semi, even though I would have figured that anyways. If you're going to use this at long ranges, you're going to have to keep in mind that there's a lot of gravity for the projectile. So long range shots like around 374 meters is probably not the best for this weapon. The Coyote has a 10-time sniper. Another thing about the Speargun is that it has only 12 shots, so you'll have to take these very carefully. Or you can bring the holy grail of ammo, the supply pack. And since it has a destructive power to do it, it can blow open those little supply boxes. Can we get a womp womp for the epoch? Because the Speargun can close things like bug holes, bot bases, and the spaceships on the illuminate front. And since we know it has a penetration of 5, we're not going to be shooting it at the smallest enemies. Well, at least directly at them, because you only... Since this weapon shoots out a big old gas cloud, you can let this actually do most of the damage against the lesser chaff on all enemy fronts. But on the bot front, it is a complete Hulk counter. Because even if you miss the first shot, the gas still affects them in the end. And since I wanted to block off this path directly, I would shoot things like the Devastator, because I know that the projectile will stop once it hits his chest, creating a barrier between you and whatever enemies may be funneling through that direction. On the bot front, everything is pretty much a breeze using this weapon, but once you start climbing up into the heavier weapons like the War Strider, then you'll have to struggle a bit more. With the main problem but being that every part on it has a high level of durability. But since the Speargun has a penetration of 5, it means at least you can ignore the damage cut from having it being matching pens. So if you get a War Strider seat, then be sure to aim for at least his hip joint, because at least in 3 shots I was able to take him down. Which is easier said than done, because you'll need to be very close to get the most out of this weapon anyways. So the Speargun itself is not a good counter against War Striders. While it's not great against the Factory Strider, you can counter its chin guns in 1 shot. Overall, not a good option for Factory Striders, but who would have guessed that a stick stabbing a giant cow would have did anything. Going up against the Voteless, just shark the ground right in front of the Voteless and just let them run around in it. As long as they stay in the boundaries of the gas, they'll practically do the work for you. Oh, and I'm glad it does so good against Overseers. While it does take 2 shots to kill him, as, you know, the alabalad of armor that he has on his chest kind of resists the first shot, the gas lets you hold them still long enough to finish them off with whatever you got. God, I hate Overseers. You can also use a Speargun against the flesh mobs to kite them around, or in this case, if he is stuck on a rock, you could just let him die from the stink. It's not the fastest way to kill a flesh mob, but you could definitely kite them around with it. And since the Speargun is the homeless man's railgun, you can use it against the harvesters and shoot them in their eye. Or you could be the Thief Soldier over here and use the Force to kill them. And then we have the Bug Friend, where I think it's one of my favorite places to use it. Since they're much larger targets, it's way easier for them to step into the gas. And if they bug breach a certain direction, you can easily pop some gas right in front of it to control all the chaff. And if you hate those fucking Brood Commanders, all it takes is 1 shot to bust their head off, and you can let the gas do the rest. Not a bad weapon for using for kiting on the bug front, as all you need to do is turn around and flick them. You can even bring charges to a halt with 1 shot. Making a weapon like this puts the S in support weapon, as I can already see this being a useful tool in team combat situations. If you're going up against things on the Hive world or fighting the Rupture Strain, you can counter these guys pretty easily. Check this shit out. I'm about to send this guy back to bug hell. Ha! You try to dodge that. Now, while you can use the Speargun to take down charges pretty effectively on the bug front, once you start getting into the heavier class of enemies, that's where it starts to struggle. Behemoth Charger, no problem, just shoot him in the back a few times. Charger mid-charge, just shut him down. And if the Impaler refuses to show his crown, keep shooting him in the leg until it exposes his orange goo. I was also able to break his leg armor in 3 shots, and you can finish him off with whatever after. Bile Titans are going to be your biggest problem while using the Speargun, as if you don't have any teammates or you just forgot to bring a red stratagem to knock him down, you'll have to aim for his head to kind of kill him effectively, and depending on your skill with aiming, that may not be an optimal option. If you're going up against a Bile Titan, you can also shoot his stomach out in 3 shots with the Speargun to stop him from being able to spit on you. Not the best option for killing these guys, but it will buy you some time. But if you're looking to slay a dragon with your Speargun, you're gonna have to be very, very precise, as a Dragon Roach doesn't have a lot of weak points that are actually fatal, well, that are easy to hit. And they're all pretty high in its durable rating, so it's kinda like a flying War Strider. Specifically for the Speargun, you'll have to aim for the head to take this guy down effectively. But it will take so much time and effort that it's not worth it in the long run. Because despite how cool it looks to fight it with the Speargun, it doesn't change the fact that, you know, 5 of these guys can spawn if you don't kill them fast enough. They're basically a flying Bile Titan, and they have the armor and durability to match. Arrowhead, please, tone down how many dragons there are, or at least make it easier to kill them. Now, while the harpoon gun is pretty strong in its own right by itself, let me just say it pairs so damn well with other stratagems and even comboing off of— no, I'm not talking about supply pack, we know that already. That goes with everything. Utilizing the gas to hold enemies still while they run around in random directions is a great opportunity to throw something like a simple orbital precision strike, saving you a lot of ammo and effort for fighting the rest of the enemies in the area. If you're crawling through the butthole called the Hive World, you can use Guard Dog to easily pick off enemies that are wandering in the gas. It also synergizes pretty well with sentries, as you can gas every enemy coming down the way and the sentry will finish them off. But what do you guys think about the Speargun? I personally like it, and I think I'll be using it later down the line. Otherwise, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever.